In this video, we are going to be learning how to draft the upper bodice of this Cinderella dress. So let's dive in. We'll be using French cuff, pencil, and paper scissors. So the first step is to get your measurements ready. I'll be working with bust of 36. You divide it by 4 to have 9. Waist of 28, you divide by 4 to have 7. Under bust of 28, you divide by 4, 7. Shoulder of 14, you divide by 2, you have 7. Under bust length is 13. Breast cup size is 6.5. If you don't know how to take your proper body measurements, you can check out my video on how to take body measurements so that you can know how to measure your breast cup size. I'll drop the link in the description box. Then waist half length of 16, bust span, that is nipple to nipple measurement of 7.5. Then the bust point is 9.5. After that, we'll go into the pattern drafting. First of all, you need to mark out your measurements. I measured out 1 inch here as a starting line, like a guideline. So after that, I'm going to mark chest line. To get your chest line, there is a standard formula to get your chest line. You divide the bust by 6 plus 1.5. So when I divide the bust of 36 by 6 plus 1.5, I have 7.6. So I'm going to mark 7.6 inches as the chest line. Then you draw a straight line to meet the line. So after marking the chest line, you also mark from shoulder to under bust. And for this project, shoulder to under bust measurement is 13. So shoulder to under bust length. So you draw a straight line to meet your markings. Then shoulder to waist. The shoulder to waist measurement is 16. So you mark shoulder to waist measurement. You can decide to come down by 1 or 2 inches after the natural waistline. So if you want your pleating to start from 17 or 18, that is 2 inches after the natural waistline, it's up to you. But for this project, I'm going to maintain the natural waistline, which is 16. Then you draw a straight line to meet your markings. Then after that, you are going to start marking your vertical measurements. So you mark down your shoulder measurements. 14 divided by 2 give you 7. So you mark 7 on your starting line and on your chest line. So this is the chest line. This is the under bust length, and this is the waist half length. So on your chest line, you also mark your shoulder measurement like this. Then you need to draw a straight line to meet the both markings, like so. Then after that, you are also going to mark your bust span measurements. Your bust span measurements. The bust span measurement is 7.5. You divide by 2 to have 3.75. So I'm going to mark down 3.75 on the whole vertical lines. Sorry, I did not mark the bust point, so I'm going to indicate the bust point measurement. So the bust point measurement is 9.5. You're going to mark the 9.5 down and draw a straight line. This is the bust point. Bust point line. So on the bust point line, you're also going to mark your bust span measurement, the nipple to nipple measurement. So you draw a straight line to meet from your waistline to the bust point. You stop there at your bust point measurement. Then after that, the next thing to do is to mark your shoulder slope. And for the front shoulder slope, you come down by 1.5. From the shoulder line, you come down by 1.5. Then on that 1.5, you measure what you have left from 1.5 to the chest line. You indicate the middle. You can fold your tape like this to indicate the mid point. And at that midpoint, you come in by 0.5 to eliminate bulginess at the armhole area. Then use your armhole curve to connect the point from this point to the chest line, like so. Once you are done with your armhole, you go to your neckline. There is a standard for basic neckline. To get your basic neckline, you divide your bust by 12. And when I divide the bust of 36 by 12, I have 3. So I use 3 here for the neckline measurements. Then I'll also come down the depth of the neckline by 3, the basic neckline by 3. Remember, you can manipulate your neckline after drafting your pattern. Like you can decide to come down or by whatever measurements you want to come down, or go or take any other depth you want to take. But for this, I'm going to maintain the basic neckline. Although the dress I'm working with is off shoulder, I'm going to indicate, I'm still going to indicate the neckline because I'll use it to get the dart for the bustier. So you can connect, you can go ahead to connect the neckline if you wish. Then the shoulder slope, you connect the point from the neckline to the shoulder slope, like so. So after that, the next thing to do is to mark your cup size. Mark the cup size. To mark the cup size from your under bust, remember we measured the cup size from the fleshy part of your breast to the under bust. So you are going to mark it down, and mine is 6.5. So I'm going to mark 6.5 down and connect the point with a straight ruler, like so. So after that, you are going to come to your shoulder line and measure what you have left from your neckline to your shoulder line and divide by 2 and get the midpoint. From that midpoint, you connect to your bust point. That is your new dart line for the up. So remember, from this point to this point is the breast cup size. Okay, so the next thing to do is to start taking your darts. So I'll come to the under bust and take 2 inches by this side. I'll take 2 inches here. Then on this side, I'll take 1.1 inch measurement and I'll connect to the bust point using my curve. I'll connect to the bust point like so. Then I'll come to the waistline and take the darts down. The reason why I'm taking the darts down is because this dress is going to have bask. I'll extend the waist to create a bask. So I'm taking the measurements down. I'm taking the darts down. After that, the next thing to do is to take your tightening, your bust tightening. So you come to that your dart line, the dart line that you created, take 0.75 on each side of the dart line and connect to the bust point. Like so. So after that, you are going to blend because you don't want to have anywhere pointing. So you're going to blend. You're going to blend it out on both sides. You blend it out on both sides. So after that, you have to create a sweetheart neckline. If you want a sweetheart neckline, you can now come and create your sweetheart neckline. But for me, I maintain a straight neckline. Then after that, the next thing to do is to connect your armhole. Because the dress is an off-shoulder strap dress, I'm going to connect this point to the armhole like so, because it doesn't have sleeves. So this is my new line. So after that, now I'm going to start imputing my measurements. Remember, I have bust of 36 by 4, which is 9. So I'll mark my 9 inches. I'll mark the 9 inches. And then, I'm going to cut off this whole place. So I'm going to measure what I'm going to cut out there and replace it here. So I'll come to the under bust. I'll measure the under bust measurement, which is 7. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So I'll mark 7, but I'm not going to mark in front of my tape because I want it to have a good under bust tightening. So I'm going to fall back by ½ inch. Can you see? Instead of maintaining the 7, I'm taking like 6.5 because I want it to have a good under bust tightening. Then I'm going to replace this dart that I'm going to cut off. Is 3 inches. So I replace the dart. I also come to the waistline and do the same. The waist is 28 divided by 4 will give me 7. So I'll mark 7 and I will replace that dart, the dart intake, like so. And I'm going to connect the points, connect the markings from the bust to under bust, then to the waist, like so. Right? So after that, I'm going to mark the bust dart, the side dart. And for you to get the side dart, the difference between your front half length and your back half length is your side dart. And for me, my back half length, sorry, I didn't mark it initially. My back half length is 15, while the front half length is 16. So the difference between my front back half length and the difference between my half length is 1. So I'm going to impute that 1 here. If it is 2, you mark your 2. If it is 3, you mark 3. But mine is just 1, so I'm going to mark 1 and connect to the bust point, like so. So after that, remember the dress we are working on has bask. So you're going to extend your line. You can decide to add like 5 or 4 inches depending on whatever you want, but mine, I went down by 5 inches. You can go down more if you wish. So for me, I maintain 5 inches. This is 5 inches for bask. So I'm going to take down the dart. So I'll mark the bust span measurements and take it down. Then I'll also take the dart intake down, which is 2 by this side and 1 inch by this side. So I'm going to take the darts down. Can you see? So that is it for the front. And then I'm going to create my bask. If you want a straight bask, you can go for a straight bask. If you want it curvy, you can go for a curvy bask. Whatever shape you want for your bask, you can go ahead and impute your bask, the shape of the bask that you want, like so. Then the next thing to do is to mark the back. You mark the back of the of the pattern. So we'll go over to the back now and start marking the back. So I'll use this part for the back. So remember we marked a straight line out as a guideline, 1 inch down as a guideline. This is optional. You can decide to maintain this line. So after that, you're going to also mark the chest line, which was you're going to be marking the chest line, which was 7.6. Then after marking the chest line, you mark the waistline and the back half length. The back half length is 15, while the front is 16. So I'm going to mark the back half length of 15 now. That is the shoulder to waist length is 15. So I'm going to mark it down. This is the back half length. This is the chest line. So after that, we are going to start inputting our vertical measurements. So you input the shoulder measurements. We input the shoulder measurements. And the shoulder is 14 divided by 2. So I'll also come to the chest line and mark the shoulder measurements of 14, which is 7. And then I'll connect the points. So at the back, I'm going to come down by 1. The back shoulder slope is 1. The standard is 1. So after that, I'm going to measure what I have left, from 1 to the chest line. I will indicate the midpoint and then dip it in by half to remove bulginess at the armhole side. Then I'll connect the points like so. Then I'll also mark the neckline and the neckline depth. To get the neckline depth, we use the basic neckline. The neckline width, sorry, not depth. We use the basic neckline to get the neckline width of 3. But for the back, the depth is going to be 1 inch. The neckline depth of the back is 1 inch. Then you connect your points, your markings, like so. And also go ahead to connect the shoulder slope. So after that, we mark the bust span measurement. That is that. You need put in input measurement. I'm working with 7.5. So when you divide 7.5 by 2, you get 3.75. So you connect the points from the chest line to the waistline. Then after that, you start taking your dart intake. And for me, I'm going for 0.75 dart intake on both sides. Then I'll come down by ½ inch on the chest line to connect it like so. Right, so the next thing I'm also going to do is to come to the waistline of the back and remove 0.75 for the zipper, so that the zipper will lay flat at the back. I'll connect it to the neckline depth like so. Can you see? So after that, I'll start inputting my measurements. So bust divided by 4 is 9. I'm starting my my measurement from the starting point. I'm not considering the 0.75 that I've measured out. So I'll mark 9. There is no dart intake at the bust to replace. So I'll go to the waistline and indicate the waist measurement of 7. Then I will replace this dart intake. I'll measure it, which is 1.5, and replace the dart intake. Then I'll connect the points like so. So I have my pattern ready, almost ready. So the next thing to do is to mark the strap, because the dress has strap. So we are going to be marking the strap for the dress, right? So to mark your strap, you can choose where you want your strap to be. Your strap, like the measurement for your strap. For me, I want my strap to be at 4 inches. You can go by 5, you can go by 4, you can go by 6 if you want it to be here, depending on where you want it to be at your shoulder. Okay, depending on where you want your strap to be. For me, I want my strap to be at 4 inches. So you also indicate the width of your strap. You can go with 1 inch, you can go with 2 inches, or whatever measurements you want for the strap. The strap is just tiny. It's just tiny there. So I'll mark the strap. This is the strap. Remember, the dress is off shoulder. So I'll also go to the back and I'll mark the strap for the back, because I'm going to join the strap together. So you mark 4. I used 4. You can use whatever measurement you want. Okay. So 1 inch. So this is the strap. So our pattern is ready. We'll now move into the cutting process. So now that we are done with the pattern drafting, we are going to start cutting. So the first place to cut is your cup size, so that you can get the off shoulder first. So you leave this, you keep this aside, and then you cut your darts open, so that you can be able to close the bask and the side darts. So you also cut out this dart. Then I want to close up my dart so that I can redraw my bask line, because as you can see, the bask line has shifted. So I can just tape it down with a tape, because I'm still going to remove it. I'm still going to remove the tape. You redraw the bask line. You redraw the bask line like this. So you can just go ahead and cut the bask. And then remove the tape, so that you can be able to cut this part out. You can also go ahead and close the bust dart, which is your side dart, because if you close it, you are going to redraw your lines. So you close the bust dart, and blend out this part. Remember, you don't want to have any part pointing, so you blend it out, and also connect the side back because of the bust dart that you have closed. Then you start cutting. Then you cut the side. So this is what I have. These are the darts that I have eliminated. Remember, I replaced them back. So this is the front. I'm going to go over to the back and cut the back as well. So you can cut out from the chest line because it's an off shoulder dress. Remember, you have to indicate the up and the down. And this is the center back and this is the side back. You need to label because they are going to look alike. So I'm going to cut the darts and close it because I don't want to sew down my darts. I'm going to close it. I'm going to close the darts. If you want to sew it down by yourself, you can go ahead and sew it down. But for me, I prefer closing my darts. I love dartless dresses. So you go ahead and draw and redraw your lines because as you can notice, the lines are no longer straight. So you go ahead and redraw the line. You also redraw this line because you want it straight. So redraw the line and cut off, trim it off. I'm cutting out this part for the zipper to lay down flat at the back. So I've trimmed it off. This is how my back looks like. So for the strap, I'm going to cut out the back strap. I'm going to cut out the back strap. This is the up. From the mid part, I've cut out the part. Then you cut your shoulder slope. Don't forget that. Then you come to the front and join them together because you want your strap well fitted. You don't just want to cut out a straight fabric and join it there. You have to do the pattern drafting so that you can lay down flat. Then you cut. Remember, you have to label. This is the back so that you don't carry the front and fix at the back. This is the front. This is the armhole side so that you don't get confused. Armhole side of the front. So you cut your strap. Remember, you have to blend it out. You have to blend out your strap. So after blending out, this is what you're going to have. So this is the front pattern and the back pattern with the strap. For the cutting on the fabric and the sewing tutorial, I'll be dropping it in the next video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. Turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified when I upload the video. Give me a like if you find this video very helpful. Share to your friends on Facebook and WhatsApp. Drop me a nice comment and I'll be glad to read from it. See you in the next tutorial. Bye.